Hey guys, what's up? This is Joe from TCG Scrubs, without one extra Colin.
Yeah, what the heck, Colin? You
Yeah.
gave Joey a hard time last time about not being here. Now he's the one here and you're not. Nah, he is moving, so
perfect.
he's computerless essentially. He can't do anything right now.
Hey, I was moving and I had internet within like a week.
You also moved in your house right away, or your place right away, and he's still waiting to get into his place.
Yeah, no, he's probably going to be here next time.
Well, he'll be here probably Tuesday. I think we're talking about it. Also, it's also the reason why, if you guys were noticing last week, we only had 2 videos kind of come up for the week. It's just this entire process with Colin and everything happening. It's been rough.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
we're here and we have spoilers to go over. None of us. I didn't expect these spoilers to even come out this soon.
I knew, but I didn't want to tell anyone.
They talk to you officially, right? They communicate with you. But with that said, as always, make sure if you haven't pre-ordered your boxes already, check out our link in the description below for Happy Little Hug Factory. Colin's really good at this. I'm not as good as he is, but you click on it, they'll know we sent you. You can put your pre-orders in for this Winds of the Ominous Moon and see some of these cool cards we're about to look at, because these are pretty crazy. We're going to go over the spoilers of the cards. We're going to go over the box information for purchasing your boxes, as well as all the packs look. And then one last spoiler card that kind of came out that probably wasn't even supposed to come out, but we're going to look at it.
Yeah.
So, with that said, are you ready? I don't know if you're ready for this, Joey.
Yeah, I'm ready. I am not ready, but I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to let you kind of read over this first side. It's the ruler side.
I saw this girl. You linked her in the chat. She is the time-spinning witch. Oh, shit. She is this set the time-spinning witch?
That was the last set. The one where she had like one chant card you kind of saw her in, but it was named after her.
Interesting. Okay, so she's a ruler. She's a witch. Her judgment is 2 of stuff, and her energize is 1 blue. She has 0 cost. Produce stuff. Spend this will only to play activate abilities, to play mobilize, cost or awakening, cost of chance. Play this ability only once per turn. Is that right?
This is and that stuff you keep referring to is the time will. I believe they called it. It's a special new will. It's going to work a lot like the way we remember Moon will working, where it's not an actual attribute type. It's going to be a characteristic. So
I'm going to call it stuff will.
Stuff will. All right, I'll call it time will like it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Energize a blue, so it's a blue ruler, nothing crazy. We had this artwork spoiled to us the other day during the Q&A stream with Jeff, and everybody kind of called it this was going to be a ruler, and here it is. It's a ruler.
Yeah, interesting. Do you think it's going to be easy to generate stuff will?
Perhaps. I mean, I kind of saw some stuff that kind of references it. I'm interested though, because this is only. This ability on this card is producing it only for activate abilities, as well as mobilize and awakenings.
Are there any like colorless activate abilities for like previous cards that this could be really strong for?
Yeah, I can't remember any.
Yeah, I don't know any. I don't know any off the top of my head. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, there's been a couple God's Arts in the past. I thought that maybe were void as well.
Yeah, a decent amount of God's Arts are void. Sorry guys, I'm a little tired.
There's all sorts of stuff that I'm sure it can work with. Just the way we were able to play with Moon Will in the past to help shortcut certain things and pay for stuff when we could. Because if you remember, we had Regalia that produced the Moon. Back then.
I mean, do you think she's gonna? I know. Well, she won't have her own Regalia because they're not doing Regalia anymore, right? Yeah. She'll probably have her own stone at least.
Yeah, perhaps. I think it's interesting that it has mobilize, meaning golems. Golem's the only ones who mobilize. So I wonder if there's be some heavy golem support. Which, okay, we're gonna get to some cards. I saw these spoilers first. Joey hasn't seen any of them, but I'm hyped on this ruler for Epic Stories, and we'll get to that in a second. Something I was wanting to do in Epic Stories, just because you could play crappier cards a lot easier within it, without worrying about it's not keeping up with the game. And I was really hoping for more golems so I can build a golem based deck. And if this works, this with like say maybe the new Pandora with golems, maybe that can get somewhere in Epic Stories. We'll see. But
is there any way? So Awakening, do you think is that coming back? Seems like it's coming back.
Well, I mean, if you think we kind of had it, that Sylvia Conlight had an Awakening cost.
Yeah, you're right.
From tomes, so it's never really gone. It's probably just died down compared to the way we saw it back in Alice Cluster.
Well, I mean, that's the only card that's had it in like the last sets all the way back from Alice Cluster. Yeah.
Is
as
it?
far
I
as
thought there
I'm
was
aware.
more than that.
I think it's just. I thought it was just that.
I don't. I mean, I kind of want to look it up right now, but I'm also not trying to drag this video out. We might cut this out real quick and shortcut it. But Awakening.
I wouldn't mind.
No, there's a few. There's some that were chants. There's a Battle Arts chant that has Awakening. Pael has Awakening.
Those are all. Oh no, yeah, Pael is actually a decent Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then some of the mystery counters
that
technically have Awakening. Well, I don't count like the ones with mystery counters.
Right. But still, if you look at, there's some that have
Yeah.
actual costed awakenings.
Yeah,
like actual
interesting.
resonators.
Okay.
But now we'll go ahead and look at the J ruler side. Joey, I want you to read this one too. I'm pumped on it. So I already had my hype. I want to see your hype going into this.
Okay. I did. Did I see this one?
No.
Wait, hold on. How is this? Oh, I see. I see. This is a. I see. Okay, I see, Oscar. I see how this works.
Yeah.
I've now. It's all coming together now. So this is the time spinning witch. She's an 8/12. She's a J ruler witch. She's a judgment 10. Play this ability only if you control 10 or more magic stones, which basically means that she's a triple flip ruler, right?
Colossal ruler, as they're called.
Colossal ruler. Okay.
Which the last one we had was alhama'at.
Yeah. She has barrier flying, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
She has 0 cost. Produce 2 stuff will. Spend this will only to play activated abilities, to play mobilize cards or awakening costs of chance. Play this ability only once per turn. Does that say activate ability? Activate ability of chance or cards? I can't really read it too well.
Spend this will only to play activate abilities, to pay mobilize costs or awakening costs of chance. Yeah.
Of chance. Okay. So you can't use that for resonators.
Right. Or her God's art. Or
so God's art. Right. God's art is 0. You know what? Hold on. Give me half a second. I can't read that. I don't know why the quality.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Before you keep going, on the last side of it, I was questioning whether or not you could play the God's art, but yeah, it's of chance only. So I guess you couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
okay.
one.
So 0 until God's art time reverberation 0 cost. Until end of game, you may play all other God's art abilities you played this game an additional time. This doesn't affect God's art abilities that are played after this effect for the first time. So basically, you get a second God's art.
Now, this is something I was talking with Colin and Melissa. We're on Discord just talking. I was like, what relevance does it have, outside of saying epic stories? We're in epic stories, if we run into rulers and God's art one of them, and then, hey, I'll God's art again later by getting to this point. And Melissa brought up a good point, is there's been resonators in the past, like the Alice Resonator who had the God's art.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be more in the future, too.
Right, we'll probably see some more as a result of this show up, which is pretty cool.
But she is definitely good in epic stories. Yeah, because I was just thinking like, oh man, that you can like double God's art with like Shayla, but it's definitely not something you can do. Because I mean, you can do in epic stories, but yeah.
The reason why she gets even better in epic stories is going to be this third side, her colossal side. And here, I'm going to let you do that one too, Joey.
Okay. So it's Unbound Princess of Time, Kaguya. Whoa, so she was Kaguya the whole time?
What? I was actually pretty surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know how that works, but pretty cool. Okay, she's J ruler, little girl. As you do judgment of this card, restart the game with this card in the field on this side. You go first. At the beginning of your main phase, choose one. Produce any kind of will or draw a card.
So this is crazy to begin with, that you're resetting the entire game.
Yeah.
If you can get to the side. That's 10 stones. That's quite a lot to get to, especially since you're doing judgment. And when you're doing judgment, you're losing the opportunity to call stones as you're going through the game. So I mean, people were in the US group were kind of concerned, like, what's this going to do, maybe in competitive format where you're going to have game to always go to time anyways, but then this makes it go further in a time because you're restarting one of the games, essentially.
That's a good point.
But the way I see it is, unless there's a lot of like that will ramp where you're just gaining stones left and right, besides that, we have 1 addition so far, right? And 2 chants that will help us ramp. But unless you're really able to get there, I really don't see this actually happening.
Yeah, you have You also have Maria Bella. Not that oh, there's like a couple other ways to get stones, but like there's like one or two other ways to get stones. Like, is Soul still legal? I think Soul's still legal.
Yeah, Soul's still available.
But yeah, so there's still like a handful of stuff. But yeah, no, that's it's
after rotation, it narrows to 2 things so far that I can think of off the top of my head. Both being green, but we'll see. We'll see how this affects things. I don't think it'll be too big of a concern. It was funny though because in the Q&A stream, I remember Jeff mentioning at some point, and he cut out on me, so I don't remember the full conversation where they didn't understand why people in America time their games go to time or their games go so long. And I was like, well, it's a weird thing he brought that up, and I guess this makes sense.
Yeah, it seems to me like obviously if you are able to flip her and reset the game, this is like there's a very interesting card in Magic. I mean, it's a Karn, and it's played in like Tron decks and stuff, and it also resets the game, but it resets it with like Karn is like ultimated, and like you get a bunch of permanents, so you pretty much win the game after you ultimate him. This is similar, although I feel like the impact isn't as good. Like obviously it's not as good as Karn, but like, and obviously like being able to draw a card every turn is. Yeah, so like being able to draw a card every turn is amazing. Being 1 will up every turn is also amazing, and like having every mana fixing is
which is
good.
one or the other there. You couldn't draw the card if you produced the will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Another thing to keep in mind, she actually has no attack or defense stats, so she's just gonna sit in the field.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to kill her, right?
Not right.
Isn't it the 4-cost card that's destroy target J ruler?
Oh yeah, I guess so. There's and 2 4-cost cards.
Yeah, null darkness. You could use null darkness to kill her too. Yeah. But it's like that's shitty that she has on barrier. Like, why not just give her barrier?
That's the thing I didn't like about the other one, just having that barrier so you can maintain it on the field. Hopefully, given that they're not using Final Battle, which everybody does, but in Epic Stories nobody does because it's banned in Epic Stories. So she lives. And then the part I was saying that's great about her in Epic Stories is like your color ID is every single attribute color thanks to this side. So you're able to run her with another ruler and run essentially every single color you
want. Do you think there's going to be more like stone ramp in this set coming up, like to support this ruler? I
think so. Maybe there'll be God's Arts that help do that.
That's
why it helps regenerate God's Arts on his other side.
So for actual searching for stones, there's a handful of good stuff. There's
2 on top of my head, and that's the Absolute Awareness, right?
Yeah, there's Absolute Awareness. There's Magic Stone Analysis. There's a 4-cost one. Yeah, there's Wind Crest, which is 3 costs, and then there's a 4-cost one that lets you put 2 stones into your Magic Stone will, whatever. That came out with like same time around Monkey King, Wukong. So, I mean, it's possible. Like, there's definitely ways to do it, and there's support for it. I don't know.
I just feel like also you gotta consider like your focus being on that. Like, where's your win con? You're what, making the games go to time or something?
Well, I mean, like her on her last side is like a win con. Like, it's like like obviously it's not like a hard win con, but like if you imagine like I don't know, it's just that the deck that you play is gonna then be focused a lot around like getting stones out, which is it's great. But like, so like my thing is like if you can get her flipped, then you should win the next game. Like you should win the game with her flipped.
Another thing is I want to point out is Door of Time was never used competitively, and that also bought you an extra turn. I know this is resetting the game, but I'm just considering buying yourself extra because you're essentially doing that. You're taking your turn, resetting, and then taking your turn again. So.
Well, no. But see, like the turn you do it doesn't matter. Like the idea is that you start the game way ahead of your opponent. Okay. Like if you started the game with like an extra stone up, like that's something that will like, or like if you reset the game and you had a buff on yourself that said draw a card every turn,
right?
Like that's stuff that like wins you, that should win you the game.
That's true.
Is it strong enough? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely pumped to play around with it, especially like I said in Epic Stories, and try to build a deck just to help play with this whole mechanic idea of it, especially recharging a God's Art. Now I wanted to grab real quick alhama'at, who was our last Colossal ruler that we had. The reason I'm pulling this out is because we had a lot of... what's that?
Our only Colossal ruler.
Right, the only other Colossal ruler we had. Yeah. The reason I'm pulling them out is because I've noticed that there's certain people asking how physically this new ruler is going to work. I know we have new players. We have players maybe who were originally playing the game who left and now come back. So maybe they never saw this card. But this right here was Gil alhama'at. He started on a ruler set as well. Sorry, it's kind of blurry. But you can see the effect of it. So he performed Judgment, flipped over, and then he performed Judgment once more, and the card opens up, and then that's when you had your Colossal ruler.
How's the card quality?
Card quality was good. I know one of my concerns with it was for it to snap in the middle, and so I essentially never used mine. I know Colin used his, but his is still fine. Nobody truly ever performed that final judgment with this card, which is why I'm thinking this would be the same thing with this new Kaguya card. I think competitively we were at GP Richardson year before last, and there was actually one moment where somebody performed the actual judgment. I remember there was a bunch of hype on it. Everybody was like screaming, and it was on stream. Beyond that, like on actual maybe print like cut quality, I know there's like some white edges on it, and that's kind of how it came, especially on the edge where it folded. Okay. It's hard to see on this camera. I'm sorry, guys, but it's not getting better no matter how close I get. But there's some whiting on the edges. But other than that, it still holds up pretty well. It's really thick. One thing that another question people might have is like, how's it distributed in sets? We'll get to that in a second. But if they do it the way they did this one, it was in the normal booster pack. And instead of having 10 cards, you had 9 cards because this was inside of it.
Because it's thicker. Gotcha. Right. Cool.
Yeah. That said, we'll go ahead and move on to the next card. I'll read this one. We have our first Resonator. So it's Spirit of Time. It's a 5 cost, 8/12. It's Spirit Resonator. With an ability of pay 1, produce one of those Time Will. Spend this will only to play activate abilities to play mobilize cost or awakening cost of chance. So the same ability the ruler had, or J ruler had, both all sides. And play this ability only once per turn. So they're really trying to help you produce this new will.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I think that's not too good. But
yeah, no, it's not amazing.
It's basically like a 5 cost mana fixer. That's super expensive.
Right.
I don't like it.
And here, I'll let you read this last one.
Magic Stone of Time. Oh, I was right. Yep. Tap to produce blue, or tap to produce stuff will.
Yep.
Okay.
So
yeah.
There it is. A magic stone with the memories of the distant future.
It's I mean, it's basically like the other magic stones. So these should go for a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
Man, I should have sold my collection when it was worth more. Like, I'm pretty sure those magic stones I had, the 4 moon and what is it, Moonbreeze Moria? It was the opposite one. Those are like going for like $8 or $9 each.
Really? Because they drop pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I would imagine they're not worth anything anymore. But
Joey doesn't play anymore. Well. If you guys live in the LA area and you want to play with Joey, let us know in the comments below. We had somebody in the US group posting that they wanted.
It's not the LA area. It's really in Orange County.
Is that where
not okay. LA. LA is like an hour away.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I assumed you're in LA. All right. Now, with all the spoilers done, if that's what you guys came for, that's it. We're gonna go ahead and go into what the box purchasing will look like the box art and all that, and then that last teaser card in the end, as well as some information I have on how these cards are being, or this buy a box stuff's being distributed, which is really interesting. So an easy one is, here is the pack art, super simple, just has the that new Kaguya ruler, has a Ray on it, and notice Feet Sing is coming back.
Ray looks tight.
The reason why that's important is because we also have this playmat. This will be that playmat you get from, I think, buying a case. We have never had that 100% confirmed if it's when you bought the 6 boxes opposed to 3 boxes the way it used to be. But this playmat has all the rulers on it, is what we're assuming, because we do know Rhea will be a ruler in a set. We just saw that the Kaguya is one, So that must mean Feetsing is going to be one as well.
Is that Feetsing?
That's Feetsing, yeah.
Are you sure that's not a CL? Because she has Tama, and then the other cat doesn't.
She has Feetsing's hat.
Is that Feetsing's hat? Oh.
It's assumed she is. It could be not. I was talking to Jeremy, DMO73 earlier, and he was saying it looks like a teenage Feetsing.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah.
I just saw the two cats, and I was like, I didn't think Feetsing. I know that, like, CL had her familiar.
Right. Which
So
you can see CL up there, and then you can see Tama down here. The Tama is what made me think it was her. All right, and then this will be the box. So it's going to be the same box we had this last set from the looks of it. I know Colin would probably not be too happy about it. And the one other thing that we have coming through that I'm not sure how true it is again is there's on the official website it says that you would only get that Colossal ruler by buying 3 boxes, which is weird because it's like, why wouldn't it come in the set? Maybe instead of them throwing it into the pack of 9 card packs like I was just saying a second ago, they're like, let's make this easier on us. Just they buy 3 boxes, they get the ruler, which would be pretty dumb. Which is why I was telling Joey earlier, I was like, if this is true, this is pretty dumb. And then here's your buy a box promo, which is Biri Ball, which came out in Time Spinning Witch.
Biri Ball? That's totally CL, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah. She has a very similar like facial structure, and I'm pretty sure the outfit's the same. It's just I don't know where the cat.
2 pictures next to each other. Just let me know what picture you're looking at when we're done here. And then the only other piece of information I think that we have is this last card that was leaked, which was I believe they said in Chinese, not 100%. You see that card?
Is that like raw?
People are asking if it's Ragnarok. Something Ragnarok.
What is Ragnarok?
But it's translated roughly from somebody in the US group again, just using Google Translate, so we'll see if it changes in text of what it does. But it's a dragon, it has flying, and the ability says, when this card enters a field, if it was played from your hand, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal 2 cards with the same name. Then add all revealed cards to your hand. Discard 7 cards, destroy target non-magic stone entity. So that's an activated ability to destroy.
Okay.
So if you somehow drew like 20 cards, you can sit there and destroy 2 or 3 different things depending on how many cards you have to begin with.
Yeah.
So unofficial translation, we'll see what it truly does when it comes out, but it doesn't sound incredibly unreasonable since it has a pretty high cost to even play it. It's about 6 total.
I mean, you could. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. You probably won't play this with like IU since you can't get it out.
Right. Because
I was thinking like it's literally just like draw your whole deck.
I think that's the joke people were going with, like, oh, can't wait to add this to my IU deck.
Would you just draw everything then?
Yeah.
Like, would you deck out though? Would you lose since you can't?
I mean, you deck out once your opponent passed their turn and you couldn't draw a card.
Okay, got it.
I mean, maybe this is a way for you to get the rest of your souls and you can swing in something heavy. I don't know. Yeah,
it's just for 6 costs. I don't think there's any way you can really. I mean, there could be, but anyways, it seems pretty cool. Right. I like it.
And that's all we have for tonight. Overall thoughts, Joey? What do you think?
Pretty interesting. I thought there were more cards, but Time Spinning Witch. Yeah, for as cool as the Time Spinning Witch was hyped up to be, I'm not that impressed. Yeah, but I like that we get another Colossal ruler, and I think she's kind of cool.
I just really hope it doesn't get distributed the way it said. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited to see Rhea on her in her full glory power. She's gonna be super OP.
We'll get her. I mean, I know people are hyped to see her spoiled, and it looks like. So I gotta share with the comment somewhere else. What was I saying? Hyped to see Rhea, but like if it goes in the pattern of like the way it's gone before, somebody was saying how we didn't see Kirk and Shayla till like the whole set was released. So
so probably
hopefully it doesn't happen like that. And we get to find out what her sealed ability is on the Dre ruler side. Yeah. But that's it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll be back again tomorrow. They do the weekly or nightly spoilers like this. Probably talk about some of them on the podcast, which we haven't recorded yet. Figuring all that out.
Crazy.
But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you guys.